0, 1.
Let's get started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in. I thought I'd do something different this morning and post a video seeking opinions from the supporters and what they think can be better, sort of like a better match day experience for Collingwood supporters, especially at home at the MCG. Now, I know that we are by far the best club in the AFL when it comes to the support, the crowd, the atmosphere that we generate in the biggest stadium of them all. We are number one in that by far and wide. There is us, there is Daylight, then there's probably Carlton and Essendon, maybe Richmond when they decide to win a few games and go on a little dynasty and stuff like that. So I'm of the opinion that we need to be a bit more ruthless as supporters in the sense of like going down the traditional old style, potentially English Premier League way of support in the sense of like walkout songs and stuff. Now, we've obviously got our theme song and this is fine. And people don't have to agree with this at all. I promise. This is just an opinion piece and I'd love to get people's opinions as well. But you see in the A-League, you've got Melbourne Victory have got a walkout song. You've got Melbourne City got a walkout song. Newcastle Jets have got a walkout song. And then you see in the AFL, Port Adelaide play in excess as they're walking out. Now, if you haven't been to Adelaide Oval to see Port Adelaide and Collingwood play, I would suggest it's probably the best away day experience that you can get in terms of the crowd, the atmosphere. That's really tense. I wouldn't say dangerous, but it can get like that. It's basically the closest thing to a derby showdown and it's probably the only true state of origin game left, I would say, between two clubs in the AFL terms. So I'm of the belief that, and this is just purely, as I said, an opinion piece, and I'd love to get feedback on what people think, but I'm of the opinion that the players come out, they run through the banner, good old Collingwood's playing and all that type of stuff, and then I feel like that time as to when both teams are obviously out, you've got to pay your respect in that sense. Both teams come out, they play both songs, whatever. Usually the away team comes out first. Then Collingwood come out, you've got people on the side, they've got things with like flames going on and whatnot, and the crowd chants does the Collingwood chant, which is awesome. Like that's different. That's its own thing. That's a trademark that we've got, which is great. But I just feel like the time the players run out, the club song stops, and the players are warming up. Darcy Moore goes to do the coin toss. I feel like there's something missing there. Now, this has been growing on me for a while, but last year, or in 2024, we played a game against Carlton, and there was a few things. It was the Peter Mac Cup, and it was also the charity game for like the domestic violence against women and stuff like that, which was a fantastic cause. And they played Robbie Williams' Angels around the G. Now, I implore you to go and look at that footage if it's on YouTube or whatever. And if you were there, you'd understand this part at least of what I'm saying if you don't agree with any of this video, which is perfectly fine. The whole crowd was singing that song, Angels. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I know he's a Carlton supporter and it was the Carlton's home game that day. So that it was sort of all written to do it. But it sounded awesome because everybody got involved. Soon as the song finished, siren went, ball bounced, created the atmosphere. It was fantastic, right? Awesome stuff. I feel like as Collingwood, we're missing just that connection between the players warming up until the coin toss and the ball gets bounced. Obviously not Anzac Day and stuff like that. Those games are different. Yeah, like those games are got their own traditions. And then finals, if it's a home final, this applies. Away finals, no. Grand finals, no, obviously. Okay? But I just feel like Collingwood needs a song where the supporters can lift up the scarves, right? And sing a song that brings us all together that's not the club song, and pumps up the players and gets the goosebumps on the back of the neck and the arms and gets everybody G'd up. I feel like we're at that point where we should already had it. I believe they tried this, it might have been like almost 10 seasons ago now, with Metallica, and it was just like did not work at all, because that's not a walkout song. But I'm not a Melbourne Victory fan. I'm going to put this out here. I do not follow Melbourne Victory, and a lot of people would know that. I am a Melbourne Heart fan, and then obviously they went to City, and then I've sort of died off a little bit of the A-League the last couple of seasons, but I do watch it still, right? And I am a member for Melbourne City still, right? Even though that burns me, but the CFG burns me, but whatever. And side note, the reason why I followed Melbourne Heart in the A-League was because I followed Man United in the Premier League and they wore red, and I can't follow Melbourne Victory because they wear Carlton colours. Disclaimer, I will never follow a side that wears Carlton colours unless it's State of Origin and it's Victoria. That's it, right? Anyway, so I believe Collingwood needs that. Now, I would love it, and as I said, I'm not a Melbourne Victory supporter, but their song Stand By Me, and I'm not going to play it because I'll get copyrighted, but we've all heard it, and I want you to listen to this song when this video finishes. Just chuck it on Spotify, YouTube, whatever, and play it. And imagine we've run out, it's a big game, it's a game against Carlton, for example, right? Our home game, and there's 85,000 people there, potentially 90 if both clubs are doing well. The players are coming out, Collingwood's chanting, Collingwood, and then Darcy Moore's walking over to the centre square to do the coin toss. The players are just about finished the warm-up, right? And then out of nowhere, they get into their huddle, Darcy Moore's doing the toss, doesn't matter, let's just say for the shits and giggles of this experiment that I'm trying to get you to manifest right now, that we win the toss. He points to the Ponsford end, and then out of nowhere you hear boom, tss, boom, da-dum, boom, tss, boom, ba-da, boom, tss, boom, ba-da, boom, tss, boom. And then you've got all the Ponsford stand going into the Olympic stand, because our home game, so we've got more fans here. And then it goes over towards where the Carlton General thing is over there, all to the AFL members. Right, the Medaillion Club's usually the fancy Lygon Street lattes, but doesn't matter because AFL members will sit just up the top or on the bottom. And then all supporters have got their scarves up side by side or whatever. But the song Stand By Me comes up. Stand By Me, side by side. It's relevant. When the night, it's a night game too, has come. Dum, dum. And then everyone's singing it. I just think that would be it. Now, that might not be the song. It could be any song that is like a traditional walkout song. Not You'll Never Walk Alone. Please, God, that's done and dusted. But I just feel that is fitting to Collingwood. Now, I'm not a Melbourne Victory supporter, but I love the way that Victory do it. Right, Melbourne City, we've got So Happy Together. And that's good too, but it's a bit more upbeat. You want something more slow, getting into so the crowd can really join in. That's my opinion. I just think that would be amazing. And then the song finishes as the players are moving into their position, and then the song finishes, and then the song goes. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if it's like a night game versus at the G versus like Port Adelaide, a night game versus Fremantle, a night game versus another Brisbane, right, at the G. Right, or even like a Melbourne team, Melbourne for example, and it's Collingwood home game, and they've got like fucking 30 supporters there, right? And we do that. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and I just thought, you know what? No one in the club's going to watch this video, and if you've got contacts there, I've got one contact which I'm going to try and say something to, but that's beside the point. Send it to people. Get this out there. I just think it would work. It would create atmosphere, and it's something that I think we need. And I think that would be so intimidating to other teams. It would be so intimidating to other team supporters, and they're just sitting there and they've got 80,000 Collingwood supporters. Can you imagine if we did something like that, right, against GWS in the 2023 prelim final? And all due respect to them, because they created a hell of a fucking noise for the limited fans they had that game. But can you imagine if we did that? It's something that's been brewing in my head. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to share it. You don't have to agree with it, but I just thought I'm going to put it out there. And honestly, this is the one where I want you to tell me really what you guys think about this. Share this video on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Send it to people. If you've got contacts in the club, tell them. Because I just think that it's the missing thing to bring the supporters together right as the coin toss has been done. The players are grouping up. Obviously, for our home games, you've got to pay respect to the other opposition, whatever. But this is the other thing too, before I let you go. Imagine it's our away game at the G, all right? And it could be a game against Richmond. It could be the Carlton away game. And they don't have that. But then the Collingwood supporters sing it on their own accord. And they do it themselves. Can you imagine that? Right? Because that's what Port LA do. And obviously, like, they don't do it as like that good for away games or whatever. But I just think it would be so intimidating. And if it's a psychological advantage over other team supporters, over other teams' players, why not? Why not fucking try it out? I think that song is perfect. But if there was another song that was even more perfect, fuck, I'll be here for that too. But something that can get everyone together to enjoy what we're about to witness. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. And as always, go the fucking Pies.